Hello, this is going to be Histrivia number 13. This is going to be the oil embargo of 1973 74. Uh, this is pretty simple to understand, and those who lived during the 70s would remember it. Uh, but most of my listeners probably weren't alive back then, so I'll just start. To understand the oil embargo, you have to understand the background of where it began. On October 17th, 1973, the Arab-dominated OPEC corporation, uh, which was an acronym for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, mainly of Arab nations, Venezuela, and all that stuff. Um, the Arab nations of OPEC announced that they would cut oil exports to any nation, any Western nation, who supported Israel in the Yom Kippur War of 1973, in which the uh, the Israelis went in and captured more territory. Uh, Anyway, they claimed that they would reduce oil exports by 5% each month till as long as the Israeli army are still in occupied territories that the Palestinians want. So, as long as, as the Israeli activity is in those territories from Palestine, there will be an oil embargo. Uh, by December of 1973, oil prices were up 140%, and it caused a major energy crisis in both the United States and in some parts of Europe, mainly in the Netherlands and Portugal, because they also supported Israel, like the United States, in this war against the Arab League. Uh, Daily oil shipments from the Middle East dropped from 1.2 million barrels per day only down to 19,000 barrels per day. So that's a really large supply change from what the United States was used to. Um, Between mid 1973 and mid 1974, average gas prices in America surged up to close to like 43%. The effects this had on the United States were major. There were long gas lines. A lot of gas stations had to go out of business and close down. And some gas stations were only open to regular customers. Like, if you got gas there all the time, then that gas station owner will only give you gas and maybe a few other people that come, every time. But as far as any new customers, they wouldn't accept them. Uh, People would often steal gas or get shot from stealing gas from other people. There are cases in which people have, guns by their gas tanks, carrying guns on them to protect stealing of gas. How they steal gas, I think I've heard of this. How they steal gas is they take some tube type thing and they put it down through the vehicle's gas gauge, and they kind of pump it out somewhere. I forget how they pump it out, but that's how they stole it. Um, another another effect from this shortage was the odd and even days. Um, the government, in order to conserve gas, they did this odd and even license plate day. Like, if your car had even numbers, like ended with an even number or started with an even number, you would only be able to get gas on those designated even days, and same with the odd days. If you had an odd number, you would only be able to get gas on the odd days. Also, gas stations would leave out flags to determine, like, we have gas, we don't have gas, we're short on gas. Like, green means that they had enough gas to go around. Yellow meant that they were rationing off gas, meaning that you were only allowed, X amount of gallons or X amount of dollars to fill up. And red meant that they're completely dry, 100% empty, and you had to find somewhere else, which ended up being hard because practically every station would either be yellow or red. To cut back on the use of fuel, the government uh, cut down speeding limits to save fuel. This way, if you're not driving too fast, you don't lose so much fuel. In 1974, at the height of the crisis, daylight savings time was issued year-round. And in early 1974, though, things started to look up as far as the embargo. In 1974, President Nixon and Secretary of State Henry Kissinger negotiated peace talks with the Israelis and the Arabs and this ended up working, and by March of 1974, OPEC finally lifted the embargo. Now, this is the closest that the United States has ever gotten to a major gas crisis. Now, of course, during the early 2000s, we had high gas prices in abundance, but you didn't really see what you saw in 1973 and 1974, because there you had lines, you had rationing, you had, the plate, even an odd thing. So this was really the only time in American history where there was an extreme serious crisis with gas shortage.